I love how unhinged customers can be. I love it. I love it.
Hey, what's up, bozos? It's JP. I'm standing in for Dylan, who's actually right next to me over here. So, today, on a very special episode of the Daily Stand-Up, it's what I like to call Gentleman's Choice. Now, we still find this stuff interesting. We still show up to do this funky podcast for y'all bozos out there listening to this because we care. Now, I want to get into what we care about because we're all here for a reason. So, you know what? No, Dylan, you were making all that noise over there. I want to hear your take. What's exciting you about customer success? Still, after so many years.
Thank you, JP, and thank you for having me on your show today. I've said this before, but what I think is probably the most compelling thing about customer success to me, aside from the fact that I literally couldn't do another job, I don't think. In a corporate environment, I just don't think I'd be very good at anything else. I'm certainly not very good at sales. I find the opportunity to dive deep into a customer's business to be so interesting. I've been thinking a lot about the fact that customer success has evolved from what was and needed to be a very generalist role. And it feels like we're fighting that definition now, and we want to be a little bit more specialized or defined, and we want to know where we start and where we end. And yet, one of the things I think is most interesting about it is that I have to have the capacity to go into any business, whether it's an HR business, it's a mortgage business, it's a accounting business, small-time landlords, whatever it ends up being. And I've got to be able to understand their business model, how it is they make money, what are their biggest expenses, where do they experience the most drag when it comes operationally. And I've got to find a way to help them solve for that. Now, a lot of that isn't as complicated as it sounds because you have an opportunity. The company that you work for, whose products and services you're selling, is probably going to give you a lot of the answers to that test. Hey, we have these 3 types of customers, these personas that we work with, and these are the problems that they typically have and the ways that you can help them solve them. But still, every single customer and situation is just going to be slightly different. And then you add on top of that all the personalities that are involved, and it just is the most rich and complex role in an organization today, and it's why I continue to come back to customer success.
Wow, that's no vanilla pudding. Rob, what do you have for us?
Dylan, where you finished off is actually, it's my runner-up. I think that being in customer success, the thing that I've been at points in my career where I've had the choice, sort of like a choice between going down sales, product, customer success, marketing. And I chose customer success because, to the point that you landed on, it is the most interesting to me in terms of the complexity and the frameworks that you deal with. It's less myopic than other certain roles. No offense to my friends in sales, but that's a much more, in my mind, singularly focused domain. But the other reason I stuck in customer success, and this is the main reason, and the reason I come back to it all the time, is that I love how unhinged customers can be. I love it. I love it. It's like I'm living in my own sitcom at times. And trust me, I can be too. Like, I'm just as crazy as the rest of them. But for me, I remember stories like, for example, this is like 2016, our product really didn't work. The only thing that worked in our product was we had a Google Street View of different addresses. It was a real estate tool. So like, you kind of need that. It seemed like table stakes for us. It seemed like rocket science for our customers. So I had this one customer once, and I was like, let me just show him like the only feature that might impress him. I show him the Google Street View. He's never seen a Google Street View before. He's shocked. And he goes, this is incredible. Wait, hold on. He leaves for like 30 seconds, comes back panting, He was like, I ran outside. I was waving. Did you see me? But hey, you know what? I let him ride with that fantasy real quick. So for me, even like the level of escalation people reach, like that's the human stuff that makes customer success just so addictive for me that I've enjoyed that since I was a waiter at a diner when I was 18 years old. And I will come back to that. Like I would lose my mind if I were in a client facing role. So that's my main motivation, I think.
Rob, do you ever find yourself like you're sitting on a 4-legged stool with your customers, and do you ever find yourself just wanting to kick one of those legs out and make the whole situation a little less stable to see if they'll melt down?
I'm not that crazy. But man, Dylan, you were definitely the kid. You would definitely kill bugs with a magnifying glass, weren't you?
So here's the thing. No, so I was a big fan of the rubber mallet and the giant ants. So that was my thing, because I don't have the patience for the magnifying glass.
Wow.
The rubber mallet is way more immediate satisfaction.
This is all metaphorical, y'all. You know what I mean? Because this is freestyle. So you think we're talking about animal cruelty, but what we're really talking about is the cruelty that the CSM today is subjected to sometimes in their role. So, you know, we must...
the rubber mallet of your expectations.
Exactly. And those ants, those are like automatic negative thoughts. You see what I mean? So it's not like anything with like animal cruelty. It really has to do with like, it's a metaphor.
Exactly.
So I taught these guys a little bit about rapping and freestyling before this episode. So that's what that is. You know what? I'm going to bring this thing home. Because we're almost out of time. I know that this is such a fun topic, but what is it that I love about customer success that keeps me coming back? I can be free. To Rob's point, I can be unhinged and free. Because I, though I'm called customer success, affectionately live in the junk drawer that you all call customer success. And there my imagination goes wild. I can learn from product, I can learn from sales, I can learn from marketing, I can learn from everybody about how to solve business problems. I help my customers solve business problems. I try to help solve business problems internally. And as you said, my scope is not so myopic, you know, it's more biopic, because this is the story of JP and Scene. Thanks for coming, y'all. It's been Gentleman's Choice on the Daily Stand-Up. See y'all later.
Love you, everybody.
You've been listening to The Daily Stand-Up by Lifetime Value. Please note that the views expressed in these conversations are attributed only to those individuals on this recording and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of their respective employers. For all inquiries, please reach out via email to dylan@lifetimevaluemedia.com. Find us on YouTube at Lifetime Value, and find us on the socials at Lifetime Value Media. Until next time.
Hey folks, it's Dylan here. Thank you for tuning in as always. Now I've got a favor to ask of you. If you've made it this far, hopefully it means you like what we're doing with our program. So I'm asking you to please give this a like and a follow or a subscribe, and leave a comment too. Your likes and your follows and your subscriptions, they allow us to keep doing what we're doing and reach a larger audience. Your comments help us make sure that we're making the best content for you. Best of all, it's free besides a few moments of your time. Thank you again for following along, and we'll see you next time.